want to get some coffee or something?
Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Even little kids in Mexico drink coffee.
Well, I'm not a little kid in Mexico, okay?
That is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You want a cup of coffee?
No coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Maybe we could grab some coffee?
Coffee, 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 coffee.
How you doing, fellas? That's not decaf, is it?
Viennese cinnamon.
Good morning. Welcome to the show that lasts as long as my coffee. And I, of course, have a wonderful panel today that consists of Anima Confusa, the one and only, the lovely woman, and
Morning.
Gus Wolfen, the monkey toucher, and Scott Lewis.
Good morning.
Martina Costa Santana, who is a Prince of Mexico. And, of course, the amazing Stone Loki is here.
Greetings, everybody.
And we're going to talk some dragons, a house of the dragon. And boy, oh boy, before we get the show started, Gerry McClurg, a movie producer buddy of mine, tagged me today on this one. I want to share it with all y'all. It made me giggle. My father just went to a Star Trek convention and started signing autographs. My father was never in Star Trek.
Those damn masks. You can't tell who's who.
You don't know who the fuck that is. Okay. And just to let you know that Don may be watching the show today just to watch how many times I say the F word.
So practice not saying it. You said it once.
I've already said it once.
So this weekend at a convention would be great to see if you could just sit down and just have people just start signing stuff.
No. By the way, I don't know if he's here yet. If he's not here, Baron Ormontag asked me to personalize and sign it to him. So I said, to my friend Baron, a.k.a. Eric, fuck you, with a big heart. Then I signed my name.
I expected something
I'm
like
looking
that.
forward. I hope he's not here. I want it to be a surprise when he gets it.
Okay, that's two. That's two.
Yeah, that was in context. I was quoting.
I know. Just counting in the background.
Don't hold me against quotes. No, it counts. It counts.
Anima's over there taking notes about every time that you say it.
Yeah,
Oh,
she spies on me for Dawn, and that's a fact. I know she does. Don't act like you don't spy on me for him.
Why am I in your spot today? This is confusing.
Well, first person in the house today is D-Bud Martin. Good morning to you, my friend. Monkey Jeebus was next. I'm not counting anybody on the panel. Socks Bulletin, my good friend. Good to see you.
We don't count.
Alatar, you count on the panel, but you're already here. And it's good to see you, Socks. I tagged you this morning over on your group on Facebook. And I don't even have to check. I know you shared it out because that's what you do. We're going to be talking about House of Dragon and Dragon. Yeah, House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. Yes. Oh, finally, episode 6.
Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon. Penny, good morning. Good to see you. But it was, look, I got to tell you, I'm actually enjoying this show almost as much as I did the first seasons of Game of Thrones, and definitely from season 6 on. That I almost would like to pretend those seasons never existed.
Yeah, let's not talk about those.
Yes. But shh, don't talk. Keith is here. Everybody just sit and stare at him.
Morning, Keith.
No, you spoke to him.
I'm not letting you tell me what to do.
Scott saying hi, Keith. I'm, of course, broadcasting live from Scott Lewis's house.
Which is why we see Gerry in HD.
Yes, I'm actually in HD now.
So this is what he looks like.
An upgrade.
So you broke in. Okay, good to know.
Look, the door was unlocked. That's not breaking and entering. That's just checking to make sure your shit's not stolen.
Oh, did I leave it unlocked? Okay.
Well, sorry I'm late, but I happened to find a place that had this. So, I figured I'd let Damon sit back there for a while I do the show and praise him. Because this is the Damon show.
My thumbnail, if you haven't seen it, says, get ready for some albino junior butt. That was it, albino junior butt. Because this time we got to see his nephew's ass.
Yeah. Did anybody?
It's not the first time we see Egon naked, though.
No, he was standing and beating his meat in the window once.
Did anybody see Aemond and go, did Allison have an affair with Damon? Is that because the way he walks, the way he talks, the way he glares,
I have
the brooding.
No doubt.
I love the stare down they have at the family dinner.
He acts just like him.
I just decided to be a giant head today.
Yeah, and before we get into the whole story, my favorite moment in the episode is the stare down. Old One Eye looking at his uncle, and his uncle just looking at him.
Yeah, he's giving him the look like, okay, kid, that's enough.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
Turn it off now. I got to tell you, this episode, he came across really cool.
He's a badass. He's one-eyed and he's a fighter, man.
But when I don't want to get to the scene too early because the throne room scene is one of my favorite moments of the episode.
It's one of my favorite all-time moments of all of this.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That scene, him, the king. Okay, stop. Let's go. You start us, Anna. That's why you're number one. Because you have the notes.
I have the notes. And they get more and more. It's getting out of hand. So 6-year time jump.
Hey, Zax.
We are on Driftmark, high tides, and we learn that Corlys has been away for 6 years because the war in the Stepstones has flared up again. And the latest Raven message tells us that he's been wounded really badly. His neck has been slashed, he fell overboard, they got him out, but he has a fever now and he's returning home, but nobody knows will he live or not. And this is where Vermont questions the line of succession that has been established because Lucerys is to inherit the throne and to marry, just a second, Rhaena, one of the twin girls. And he's not happy with that because he knows that his bloodline is about to die, basically, and he's not cool with that. Also, Lucerys is being brought up Targaryen and not Valerian. He probably doesn't even love the sea. So Vermont is not cool, and he's questioning that. Which is basically what's happening in this episode is the dispute that unrolls about Lucerys being legitimate, more or less. And then we cut to Dragonstone, where Daemon goes for the eggs of Rhaenyra's dragon, and 3 eggs, which makes them all very happy. Rocket Kitty in the background. Excuse me, there's nothing I can do about that. Baela, who is brought up on Dragonstone, where Rhaena is on Driftmark, sends a message to let her dad know what's going on. And this sets off the whole thing, because now they all have to travel to King's Landing to put in their petitions to set this right, basically, because Raymond is way overstepping. And anybody have anything to say?
No, you're doing a great job.
Yeah,
great job.
I'm on my own here.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a good job.
I don't want to make you nervous, baby, but here you go.
Oh, God, don't do that.
Now, do you think that when they were showing King's Landing, they were really showing the size of it really well?
You mean the flyover over the castle? That's Dragonstone.
Yeah, it was the Dragonstone. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Yeah, the flyover. Yes.
It's beautiful. Also, they show that it's built to look like dragon jaws somehow. I'm amazed by this castle. I love it so much. It's just cool. we see, before they go to King's Landing, we see Jacaerys learning how Valyrian, which is to point out the cultural identity split up that is happening, because you have Vermont going all Valerian and proud of his bloodline, and Lord of the Seas, Lord of the Tides, which is the title of the episode. We see Rhaenyra's kids being brought up all Targaryen, and when we enter King's Landing, we see it has changed. It has really drastically changed. There's a 7-pointed star up everywhere. Mm-hmm. Everything Targaryen is either neglected or being taken down. We have no more porn tapestries. We have no more dragon statues in the room where the small council is held. Just religious symbols everywhere, because apparently that is the way that Alicent copes with her situation, which is seeing her husband die. And we see him in really bad shape.
Yeah. And no one was greeting them either.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you have Otto in charge.
There are no people around. It used to be such a lively place, and now it's like a monastery.
Has Otto included Alicent in what happened to the king?
What do you mean, Loki?
Okay, so according to if they're following the lore in the books, the king was poisoned. The king has been poisoned this entire time. This has been a grab for power by
I didn't know
Otto.
That is book lore, though.
That is book lore, and
Paddy Considine gave away in an interview that his version of the series has a kind of leprosy.
A leprosy,
so
that's what
they go away from the books.
But that's what supposedly the Grey Rats gave him, was leprosy, and the Grey Rats being the maesters, the high maesters. If they incorporate that, if you find out about that, if you find out Otto, I'm just wondering if Alicent, because they haven't addressed that at all, if Alicent is complicit in what has happened.
No. I see what you're going for. I don't think she is, but because that's part of the problem. The way that they've constructed her character, the main basis built around where she's coming from is that she seems to be the only person willing to follow the rules, to do what they are being told to do. I don't think she's completely aware of everything that truly entails. Okay? It's not that she's a completely innocent person, but everything that she's done up to this point has been expected of her. Okay? And now that she had, when she had her children, it really threw that into overdrive. But part of that is her religious upbringing. Her way of viewing things is that everybody has a particular job to do. And nobody's doing their job. Nobody's doing what they should be doing, including her own kids.
Yeah, absolutely, especially Aegon, because
she's
Aegon
not a good
is
mother.
what
We've had that before.
Aegon is what she has accused Rhaenyra of being. I mean, she's had this finger pointed at Rhaenyra this whole time when her son's doing worse things than Rhaenyra ever did.
Yeah. Well, but she has to be like that because that's kind of the way that her father has got her to be. That it is very important that she prepare her son, her kids, to actually take over and rule. And I think in the end, that's one of the many, traps set that's really going to go sideways when somebody finds certain things out. I mean, there's a lot of secrets now in this show that if the right or wrong person finds out, that would really destroy a few of these characters.
Because the guy that I forget his name, the Queen's father is the Hand again.
Otto.
And
Otto
the minute he
Hightower.
became the Hand, I was just like, this is not good.
No.
This is absolutely not good that he's back, because he is clearly duplicitous.
Oh yeah, he's willing to do anything, and he's willing to use his grandkids to get power. I mean, that's part of the game.
And I'm not surprised if we don't find out eventually, Loki, that they kept that, because he's so duplicitous. I would not be surprised if they keep that in the show, that he poisoned him with the rats.
Agreed. I agree.
Now,
we need to see his head get cut off.
If I may, if I may, guys, I'm sorry. Excuse me, just a second. If I may, I'm sorry.
Yes, Scott.
I will have to agree with Loki for just a second in regards to, as Anima is getting ready to tell us about the next scene, when they smell the cup, they smell something awry in that cup. And I think that they realize that he's being poisoned.
Yeah, Damon.
No, I think Damon is just suspicious.
Yeah, Damon's naturally suspicious because that goes to what his character
That's supposed
was.
to be milk of the puppy, and he's just like, I better check if they meddled with that. We don't know if they did. He's just checking.
But also, Damon said from the very beginning that he thought his place was with his brother, by his brother's side. Okay, what is happening?
He wanted to be the hand. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to be with his brother because he didn't trust anyone else. He's never trusted Otto, you know? Yes. And so all of this, of what happened in this episode, has been, at least from Damon's point of view, stuff that could have been avoided had his brother had a little more faith in him. You know? I'm not saying that that's a completely true thought, but I think some of it could have been avoided. But again, he's not showing all of it, but this is a nightmare scenario for Damon. You know, and for him to see his brother when he first sees him, he can't even really look at him. He loves his brother, but he can't look at him because that's also something about his character. He admires strength. If you are someone who is strong, even if he opposes you, he kind of admires you in a sense.
Respect.
And he can't, I think, stand to really be in the presence of weakness of any kind, you know?
Yeah, well, that scene hits hard, seeing him bedridden and in such a bad shape. I mean,
but also it was the same way with his wife when she was giving birth to their last child before she died. He was very uneasy.
Yeah.
He cannot stand weakness. That's a character flaw, but I mean that's a part of who he is. You know.
Well, what I'm looking forward to is the Al Capone baseball bat scene that we get eventually, with the round table scene where you're just wondering who's going to say teamwork and get their head bashed in.
Wow. Look.
That would add to the show.
Red wedding? Fuck that. That's nothing compared to the batting.
Oh, that was nasty, the red wedding.
Out of every episode they've had this season, this better be the one that they put up for an Emmy.
Yeah, agreed.
Everybody was really good in this episode.
Paddy Considine deserves an Emmy for his.
Oh my God!
Outright.
That's top notch acting.
I mean, his
so
performance in this has been one of the best performances in both shows.
I think
I was blown away.
He enters the hall.
Oh yeah, but we get that, Keith. Let's not jump.
Yeah, okay, but it was very emotional for me. But
Keith, don't jump.
Okay.
Oh, we shut him off.
Oh, he's asleep.
Yeah.
It happens that fast.
So, yep.
Oh, he's hiding now behind the white
guy. Time to reset.
It's like, oh, wait a minute, David's still up there.
Okay. It's that albino guy with the naked ass. Anyway, go ahead, baby.
I'm gonna let him think.
What's the next one? Gap After Dark is here. What's up? Monkey Jeebus, thank you. Come again.
Rhaenyra and Daemon go visit Viserys in his bedchambers, where we see cobwebs covering his model of King's Landing, which is really sad because he was.
Is that what that was? I thought it was smoke at first.
Yeah, smoke comes out with a smoke comes out. Yes, but there are
a candle or something
over.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just neglected. Everything Targaryen is neglected, and it's dark, and it doesn't look like a good place to be for a sick person. And Rhaenyra is all. You can tell she's shocked by seeing him because she hasn't in 6 years apparently. But then she introduces her kids that she has with Daemon, and they are called Aegon and Viserys, which in the books pisses Alicent off, but they don't touch that in the show. And he's all proud granddaddy, but of course he scares them off and feels terrible about it. And Daemon is really uneasy and can't really look at him and goes all business and is like, okay, so here's the situation. You stole the king. You need to fix this. Which, yeah, again shows Daemon's personality, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I got to interrupt just for a second because somebody broke the back door open.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
here you go.
Let me guess.
Gap After Dark.
Like, wouldn't you know that back door would trigger a trap door?
There you go, baby. First backdoor joke of the day. Gap After Dark.
Well, 20 minutes.
It wasn't the first one.
Oh, I didn't see any previous ones, and nobody brought it to my attention.
From Sax. Oh, I did it.
Oh, fuck you, Zax. You get this, buddy. I know he's not watching. He's going to watch later. So this
That's
one's
true.
just for you, Zax. Here you go.
Thank you for your cooperation.
There you go.
I love that one.
I'd buy that for $1.
This
Buy
from
that
now
for
on-
$1.
This
That's
clip
two.
from now on will always remind me of Robo Gary, which we don't have anymore. So yay!
Although
Don't
I keep
jinx it.
freezing up
Don't
every
jinx
few
it.
minutes, it's still doing that thing where you guys just sort of like become twirling black background and twirling swirl. No, it's not a color thing. Shut up, Keith.
What?
It's a good medication Gary's on. Just go with it.
Welcome to ADD Theater.
So that's up to we're up to 2 now, correct?
Yeah, I've said F word twice. I'm going to keep it at that. I'm not going to say any more the rest of the show.
Look at the
or at
screen
least
right
until the end.
now. Look at the screen right now. You see John in his corner, like with that expression of "I am a benevolent God."
Yeah, he is like.
He's really intent there. Yeah.
I told you, I'm a giant head today.
Giant head.
You get
That's
kinda
the
close
giant
there,
head.
What is this, Zardoz?
He's ready to add something any moment.
70s humor. 70s humor.
Yeah, Sean Connery running around with just a little pouch over his dinghy, his wee dinghy.
With the
Anyway.
Don't you like my flying V, Gary? I think he's froze. I froze him.
You locked him up. Oh no.
Oh no.
Hey, Gap, I really hope you are okay.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I can still hear some of what you guys said.
Oh, don't worry. We were just talking about you.
Oh, good. I told Tom when he said the same thing. He says, "Hey, Gary, we were just talking about you," and I went, "Well, was it good?" And he goes, "No." I said, "Well, as long as you're just talking about me, it's okay. I don't care if it's good or bad. You're talking about me.
You're at least talking about me."
I am really drinking this coffee. It's really good this morning.
And we have Don in the chat.
Yes, only
Hi,
2.
Don.
I've said 2. I said it twice. Once is a reference, so it shouldn't count.
I'll just nudge him every time with my.
We're not counting that one, so that would be 3, but we're not counting that one, so only 2.
Did I say F again?
But F
You
is
did
okay.
at the beginning, and then you referenced it, and then just a moment ago.
I did? I didn't even catch myself doing it that time. That's how subconscious that I flow with some of these things. I don't even notice it sometimes.
Say, we need a shot collar. Give Anima the control.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Ooh,
You
yes.
know, if her
We've
hand
implanted Gerry with the new V chip. Every time he says the F word, he gets shocked.
you know, if she ever goes into any kind of cardiac arrest, Gary's in trouble. There we go.
Man, Keith, I'm too young for that.
You are too young for that.
That's so funny.
Well, I don't know if giving her the control could be a good idea. That
I think it
that
would
could
be.
become kinky very
That's
very
a
fast.
reality show. That is a reality show. Well, listen, while Gary's trying to get back, oh, here he is. I think we should continue on.
Yes.
Anima?
We cut to Alicent, and she's dealing with Diana, a servant who has been raped by Aegon the Useless. And we see her being really nice and comforting her and telling her, I know it's not your fault, because the girl is falling apart, of course, who wouldn't? But then she starts to threaten her to not tell anyone, because people might think that she wants to make the prince look bad. And
Well,
she ends up giving her money and the Plan B tea. And at that moment, I was like, okay,
I still wonder
the
if
girl
it was
is dead.
the Plan B tea.
Yeah, because in a later scene, we see Helena ask where that girl is because she's meant to dress the kids. So we don't know. Has she been poisoned or is she just feeling really, really bad
No.
from that tea?
She's gone. She's gone. No. She wouldn't give her money and then poison her. She would, talk to her. I mean, look. I think Allison deep down is still kind of a good person.
Yes. And religion has made her better.
Yes. I just think that ultimately...
I don't think she killed her.
No.
Why bother comforting her and hugging her and
that's right.
being all
well,
nice?
You notice because she has two sides.
I had a moment when I thought, like, is this girl dead or?
Well, no, she has two sides, and she was really trying to be nice in front of her and actually do bad things to her because she's gone.
No, I just think that she needed to comfort her, but it was just like Damon had said in episode 3. It isn't really about the truth. It's about what people believe.
Yeah.
And so for her to continue to say anything, if it were to get back to the wrong person, would have threatened her life, but also it would have looked bad. And I think deep down, she was also just trying to check to make sure that no one outside of the 3 people that knew. Because
Which is what I thought, and I still think she killed her.
Well, she has spent all this time trying to convince everyone Aegon is the future ruler. It's not going to be Rhaenyra.
Well,
it's going to be Aegon, and everyone has to support Aegon. So she's got to keep his name crystal clean. He's got to be the purest of the pure.
Yeah.
But he's out there banging the housemaids, and he's not. And she tries to tell him that when she bitches him out.
Well, you can also tell from the reaction. This is not the first time this has happened. Okay. It's just the fact that I think she also wanted to make sure that the maid hadn't told her dad. I think if Otto had found out, then she would have died. I think she gave her money, but she also had her taken away from the castle. Because I think that's the way they've handled it. And really, that's how that's what all of them have been handled. I mean, even with Robert in Game of Thrones, with a lot of his bastards. I mean, that's really the way that it's always been handled. But I think in the end, I think this was the last straw for her when she goes to confront her son about it.
Oh, I love that.
Beyond upset.
She is raging mad at him, and this is where we see Julia Albino as.
Well, but also this also gives you how they raise their kids. You notice the one
She's
who is
hard on him.
No, that's the problem. She's not been hard on any of her sons. That's the reason why they act the way they do.
No, she is, and she puts a lot of pressure on him, and he doesn't care. He doesn't want to be the next king.
He's first of all, none of what she has to say is going to work anymore. He's a man now. It's too late. It is too late for him. Whatever she was going to try to do to help him out, to get him to become a ruler, that is gone. He's a man now.
He acts like he doesn't want to be a ruler. He acts...
No, he's not acting. He tells everybody. He's exactly, I mean, seriously, he's technically...
I want to be Bruce Wayne without the Batman.
He's put into a really bad position. He had to marry his sister. They have 3 kids at this point, twins and an older one. And he's just fulfilling his duty and not wanting any of this. He does not want to be a ruler. He never wanted to marry his sister. He's just giving 0 Fs. Yeah.
And again, it's just, I don't feel bad for him. The kid's a bit of an asshole, but he's
a drunk. He doesn't even remember that he raped that girl.
I want to hear more. What are these Fs that he's not giving?
I'm trying to
that was
help
good.
him.
You know what? I just, again, it really does come down to Allison really has to
slap him.
Allison really has to understand that in the end, the only one that's even remotely acting like they want to rule is Ben Aemond. But there's kind of a darkness with him. And I think she recognizes that, in fact, I think I'm not saying that she's scared of him, but I mean, there is something about that young man.
It's always the quiet ones, Keith. It's always the quiet ones.
Yeah. You learn that. You learn that in public school.
That's right. You learn that in public school.
You learn that.
He's so quiet. I can't believe he killed everybody in the room.
You learn quickly that there is nothing like watching a bunch of teachers go to break up a fight when it involves one of the quiet kids.
Yeah, that happened to me in the 8th grade, and. I don't even want to talk about it. But anyway, Luciano Pereira is here. It's a good time to it's good seeing you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Luciano says Valerian's being black and white hair made total sense when the sons of Rhaenyra were judged by their look. This proves that the showrunners knew how to make diversity canon to their show.
Well, that's because they chose a pair of showrunners who, first of all, knew what the blank they were doing.
Good writers.
And a good writer's room. But I mean, both of these guys who were picked to headline this show were originally working for Amazon to create the Conan show that they had before they got booted by Jen.
Because it was too masculine.
It was way too masculine. And I think it's very appropriate that this show beat the living out of the Rings of Power.
Pooper.
Don't talk about that show.
He's just editing himself. That's perfect.
Also, making the Valerians black doesn't interfere with what's happening 200 years later in Game of Thrones because they die out. We don't see any black people in Game of Thrones, but that's okay because that line is basically dead.
Well, we don't see anyone at King's Landing, but I mean across the sea you do. But I just
but what we see in House of the Dragon is basically the Valerian line getting very thin and dying out.
Yeah,
and you talk about that family and the weight of what the directors and the writers have done. For a moment, when she went out to her dragon, Daemon's wife, to have the dragon burn her, I'm like, what is she even thinking about doing? It's not going to do anything. And I'm like, she's not a Targaryen. She's a Valerian. It doesn't work for the Valerians. The Valerians can get burnt.
Loki, you got that one wrong because it's only Dany. Only Dany doesn't burn.
Really?
Her brother does.
Well, yeah, but that's because he was not he was an asshole. He wasn't a Targaryen inside.
No, I think that
in the script it said he was an asshole
because Daemon doesn't burn. Daemon gets fireballed by his wife's dragon and he doesn't burn. That was one of the things you see in that episode when she's riding. Dragon shoots the fire out. Daemon doesn't burn.
Seeing that.
Daemon's wife is on her dragon. He's on his. It's 2 episodes ago, I believe.
Loki.
2 episodes back when they were riding in the sky.
We see them both riding that dragon.
Yes. She fireballs Daemon's dragon, and Daemon is in the fire, and he doesn't burn.
So he flies right through it. He flies right through it.
That makes the Maester's suggestion of cauterizing what's happening on Viserys' back in the first episode stupid again.
Yes.
Because we had that, and then we were like, no, it's just Dany who doesn't.
But also,
not all Targaryens, but
the Iron. If you're not worthy, one of the things that has carried on in the books, and they touched on in the original Game of Thrones, was if you are not worthy of sitting on the Iron Throne, the throne will cut you. It happens to Joffrey. It happens to what's his name? Joffrey's grandfather. It happens to Viserys. Anyone not worthy of sitting on the Iron Throne, it cuts as a way of saying, "Get off me! You're not worthy." Also, that's in the books and in the original show.
Also, Daemon and Rhaenyra are the great grandparents of Dany and Jon Snow.
Yeah, and it doesn't cut Daemon when he sits on the throne.
No, it doesn't.
I always looked at it like you had to be worthy to be a Targaryen. It's not just about your blood. It's about being worthy of being a part of the dragon. Because that's basically what they are, is they're part dragon. Yeah. That's why the fire doesn't burn them. That's why they're able to have such a relationship with the dragons. So I always looked at it like you have to be worthy of that bloodline to not get burned and to have the honor of sitting on the Iron Throne.
That means the only one of Allison's kids that is probably going to be able to set on, it's going to be Aegon.
Yeah.
Aemon.
And also remember that
Aemon,
Damon found those 3 eggs at the beginning as well. He sensed those out and found them. So that's also he was able to find those as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, it's Rhaenyra's dragon who laid the eggs, and so of course you would know where to look for them.
Yes. Wow.
It's Syrax.
I did not even. Yeah. Thank you, Loki.
I'm doing my research. I'm actually doing homework for this show.
I love the honor deal of you have to be worthy. The throne doesn't want you on it, it's going to tell you. And it kept pricking Viserys. Like, you're not worthy. You're just doing your minimum duty to the throne. You're not worthy to sit on the throne. Where Daemon sits on it, it doesn't cut him. It doesn't hurt him. The throne in the books
he's sitting all kinds of ways. He's getting all comfortable. He's leaning back like nothing. Viserys walks by the throne. He's like, "Ow! Oh man!"
Well, there's a lot of swords around the throne too. So
but even like but David's like, "Hey, well, watch this! Oh yeah, I'm sitting, baby. I'm chair dancing."
And Dany's brother pretty much gave her to be raped and taken advantage of.
God,
he is not worthy in any way, shape, or form to be the heir of the throne.
He did get his crown, so
yeah, he did get his crown.
Yeah, what a crown. Okay, we derailed again.
Sorry.
Anyway,
my fault. Sorry.
There's so much in the show and so much in the episode, and it just takes you down another rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to watch and get into a show like this that doesn't cost $1 billion.
Ouch.
Ooh, that was rough.
You keep
what?
No, I'm not commenting on it.
I swear, somebody pocketed a few $1 million from that show, and then went and bought everything on Amazon.
That's right. I'm saying.
Yeah, they got a discount.
I'm saying Sean and I should we should go check the books. They deserve an audit.
That's sort of stop and think how shitty that would be. Embezzle money from Amazon and then expect an employee discount when you buy from them.
Okay, guys, I'm shutting this down. Next scene. Jace and Luke are just strolling around and revisiting the places of their childhood, more or less. And we see Aemon's train with Sir Criston, and he is beating his ass. He is one-eyed, and he is a fighter. He's fast. Sir Criston has no chance against him. And while he's fighting Sir Criston, he spots his nephews and calls them out like, "Hey, are you here to train?" And they're like, "Oh, shit." They're not happy about that.
Well, I think his senses are heightened as well because he could move and do things and hear things around him because he can't see out of the eye. And I think his senses are heightened.
He's become Daredevil.
I'm excited about seeing more of him. He is a badass. He's really cool.
Yeah, he's one of the few real badasses on the show that doesn't seem to be really a shitty person.
Yeah, but I think he's still afraid of Damien.
We don't know. No, we don't know that.
He is, because at the dinner, the stuff that he says, he's
I'm not saying he's not. Look, I knew a lot of guys in the army that were badass soldiers that had their head in the right place that were complete fucking douche nozzles as friends. Okay, I'm not saying. What I'm saying is, did I say an F word?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes, you did.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry. I'm trying to help you. You're up to 3. One don't count, so you're up to 4, but one don't count.
There's nobody in those families that are good people. None of them.
Let's just put it that way. He's a second son, and second sons are problematic.
Well,
Always.
the thing I find interesting is that some of the people that we see is really kind of evil at times or nefarious turn out to do some of the greatest things for the future of everybody.
Yeah.
Well, look at Damon. Look at Damon in the first episode. He's out there cutting people's tallywhackers off. He's just administering justice on an epic level. And now look at him. Look at what Aemon is now.
Look when he kills the Crab King and I mean, my God, man, he went in there knowing he might die, and he's like, "I'm going to do this."
But I think
because he wanted to go out with a blast.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't want his brother saving his butt.
Yeah.
It wasn't until my brother's sending reinforcements. F that, I'm going and taking care of business.
This all makes sense based on what he has said. If you look at everything that Damon has said since the first episode, he's telling you who he is and the belief that he has. Yes, it is about what people believe. It's what they see. For him to have accepted his brother's help would have not been good at all. He wasn't trying to be an asshole about it. It was just the fact that it's like, no, I can do this. This is
It
what
would
I
have shown a
trained
sign
for.
of weakness.
He
It would
doesn't
have
like
shown a sign
weakness.
of weakness.
That's right.
Don Ecker's giving me shit out in there. Counting, dude. Bill Barkley says Gerry reminds me of Uncle Albert from Only Fools and Horses during the war.
Well, real quick,
Don
Gerry.
actually showed us. He's jotting down every time Gerry slips. He's like, one more.
Well, but real quick, let's interrupt for just a second. Let's explain why in just like 10 seconds, why we're counting those words today. Explain, because some people may not have understood why we're counting.
Well, the news is that we have been picked up.
Oh,
and he's frozen.
I'm still here.
Well, you cut out at we have been picked up, and then nothing after that.
Okay, we've been picked up by KGRA Digital Radio Broadcasting. They don't answer to the FCC because they're digital. But and so even though they apparently keep that rule for every other show, no F words, I was given carte blanche to say whatever I want or do whatever I want on the shows by the owner.
Because they want Gerry, the real
one. It's just, even though I don't even know I don't think I'm money. It's just I guess our show is that entertaining that they like it. So I'm like, okay, cool. But Don is my drill sergeant here, and he's wanting me to get more control over it. And the problem is, and I explained it to Don. Don knows this, is that I use stream of conscious when that stream of conscious flow when I'm talking. That's how I'm able to be spontaneous and crack jokes so quickly. And I don't always have a filter for that. It's sometimes that stuff just slips through, and I'll drop an F-bomb and didn't even know I said it. That's just how naturally I speak.
But that's how you roll, and I'm glad they picked it up and they're giving you the carte blanche.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I was like, oh my God, because I was terrified. I was like sweating. I'm like, oh my God.
There was a lot of worrying for a couple of hours.
Like Jerry Lewis, but then he came back to me in the middle of the night, like I think it was almost midnight, and Bill, the Skywatcher, he's the producer. I guess you would call him like the station manager. He said, I just spoke to the owner. He says, you can say whatever you want. Drop as many F-bombs as you want, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, God does exist.
but we're just trying to help you out a little bit. So
I'm trying to get better at it, because I would like to avoid using it unless it's really impactful, but it's such a common part of my parliance.
Especially when we're doing the Military Monday. It's just
Military Monday, it just starts flowing out of my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And just to tell you how bad it could get, I remember in the Army, I shocked one of the guys in my squad. He said, you just said an entire sentence and it was nothing but the F word.
Internet censorship.
That's hilarious.
I did in this one sentence. I don't even remember what I said. But it was just, I referred to the situation with the F word, what they were doing, effing around, and this effing job, and this effing, and I just kept using the F word. And somehow I got the point across without using any other word. And I don't know.
Hi, Max.
Well, we're just trying to help you out. We're just trying to help you out. Now go back to the show. Sorry.
Okay. Rhaenyra goes to see Rhaenys, in the garden. And she brings Rena, who has been living on Dragonstone. So Rena sees her granddaughter again after, I suppose, 6 years. And Rhaenyra is kind of using that to get her a little bit emotional because she wants her on her side. And she proposes to marry Jason Luke to the twin girls. And Rhaenys is like, no, you killed my son. And Rhaenyra doesn't give up his secret. She doesn't give up Laena's secret that he's still alive, that instead of plotting his murder, she gave him an escape, basically, to a new life in Essos. So that's kind of cool of her. But Rhaenys is bitter and still believes, you had my son killed. And Rhaenyra tells her, no, I loved him. Believe me, I swear I didn't. But it doesn't seem like she's successful with her offer. So Rhaenyra next goes to Viserys for help and tells him how hard the burden is he put on her and that she can't do it. And she needs him to help her. And he's bedridden. He's so bad. And it's just such a sad scene. It's hard to see him like that.
Did Keith leave us, or is he still here?
He said he'd be back.
Oh, okay. Has anybody dropped in? I haven't seen it.
Well, remember, she said she never killed him. Remember the words that she said? She never killed him.
She said she didn't order that he'd be killed.
Yeah. Sorry, she never ordered for him to be killed.
She's speaking the truth without giving up his secret, and that's kind of cool of her. Because that way he is free. She's giving him his freedom to live his life with his lover boy.
Yes, that keeps happening, Bill. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. We'll get it. This is my first day at the new location, so having just a little bit of a hiccup, but it's not that big a problem. We'll figure it out. Welcome, Magitech Mags. Why aren't you on the show? I sent you an invite.
Oh, she's.
Oh, I didn't watch the show.
She's
Shut
in the
up,
office.
Magitech.
Read the chat, man. She's in the office.
Oh, you're at work today. It's no excuse. I expect you to pop on when we invite you. Damn it.
Oh, shut up.
Hey, Cal.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I won't read that out loud, but you get what I'm talking about, Kingsport, Cal. But
good job.
Good to see you,
good job.
So where are we at now? Have we gotten to the throne room scene yet?
No,
I can't wait.
We
Not
see Viserys getting treated.
Wait. Before you get into that, we have a super
Shinatsky. Gary's advanced to the level of backdoor sweary. Oh, you get it. You get it. Here it comes. Are you ready?
Like, wouldn't you know that back door would trigger a trap door?
There you go. And also this one.
Thank you for your cooperation.
There you go. And also this one.
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
And Mags puts the $2 super chat. Thank you. My job pays for your membership, Gary. Okay. Yeah, that's a good reason. That's a good reason. Let me give you. What do I want to give you? This one. I'll give you this one. Hello.
Hey, Brian, it's me. I got a question for you. Herbert and I are playing categories. Would you count NyQuil as a beverage? No, right?
No.
Yeah, not gonna fly, old man. Thanks, Brian.
Oh, that is bullshit.
I love that one.
Oh, that is some bullshit. Thank you, Magitech. All right. So, no, please, no wrench. Was somebody giving you a wrench, Loki?
No. Monkey Jeebus said mod Loki too, and I said no, please, no wrench.
I think we're pretty good on mods on that show. We have a lot of them.
On what show?
On this one.
Oh, on this one?
On this channel.
Yeah, I've been told to limit it by the powers that be. I'm not going to say names, but he is Mexican, and he's made of iron.
You get if you can get a really good wrench team, you get a couple of people that are really good wrenches. That, to me, that's the way to go. I got 3 great wrenches that absolutely do their job every morning, and it's great.
Yep. Part of the problem was that I was giving people wrenches, because they were on the show, and I wanted them to be able to post in there. And I was told, stop doing that.
Yeah.
I wanted them to be able to promote their shows, but it's like, no. Other people could promote their show for them. I'm like, okay.
I may have heard the exact same advice from someone who wears an iron thong. No names.
But are they from Mexico?
And they wear an iron thong. Yeah.
An iron thong. They don't like Alf, I bet, too.
They don't.
That's why I thought it was so funny, because we had a buddy of mine, Brett Smith, comic book artist, really good guy. He's on, and I looked in the background, and there's an Alf on the floor behind him. Sitting on the floor, there's a little Alf, like about 2 feet tall. I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if our mutual friend, who is kind of Mexican and made of iron, or wears an iron thong, is watching.
And we need to get back so we can get to the throne room.
Nope.
Yeah, we're
done.
there. We're so close.
It's an hour. Nope, that's it. This is the end of the show. I want to thank No, go ahead, Adam.
Shut up. I know you want to go.
Never been on time.
We're this close.
So close.
Yes.
It was this close.
It's like when I came on to discuss The Boys with you, my first time on your channel, and you were derailing all the time. I was like, what are we doing here?
Let's have what they want to watch. Go ahead.
We see Viserys getting treated. We get to see how bad he really is. At this point, I have to say, great CGI. What they did is amazing. He's basically a skeleton at this point and has holes everywhere. And Otto goes to hand him milk of the puppy, and he declines it because after talking to Rhaenyra, he knows he needs to do something, so he needs a clear head. And he tells Otto instead to order family dinner. He wants everyone there because his family is so divided, so he needs to do something.
I wonder how much of that is her giving him milk of the poppy to keep him.
No, it's because of his pain. It's
I understand. I understand.
Rhaenyra confronts her about that, and she says you don't want to see him without the medication because he's blinded by pain without it. It's to keep him as comfortable as possible, I think.
He's got 4 big holes in his back where you can like see inside of him. That's
his
absolutely insane.
His cheek is gone. He needs milk of the puppy.
Visual effects were great.
Yeah, amazing.
He
also, when he's in bed, what they did to his neck, it's amazing. But at this point, he's like, no, I need a clear head, order family dinner. And then we're in the throne room. And Otto as the Hand is on the throne, hearing the petitions about the succession in Driftmark on the preferred throne. So Vermont goes first, putting in all the points he has why he should be the successor because he was raised in that way and he's the next of kin to Corlys, since nobody knows is he going to make it or not. And he does not directly attack Rhaenyra at this point, but she does speak up. And when it's her turn, enter Viserys on a, what's it called, cane. He can barely walk, but he enters on his own. He's not carried in. He makes his way all the way up to the throne, where things start getting hard because there are stairs. And he stumbles and he drops his crown. And Daemon steps up and helps him to the throne and puts the crown back on his head.
Can I break in for 1 second, Anima? That scene was not done that way.
I was going to say that, Loki.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't know if you knew that or not. Go ahead.
Doing my research, buddy. That scene was improv because the crown wasn't meant to drop, but it did. And Matt and Patty just went on with it. And they liked it so much that they kept it in. That was not meant to happen originally. But
I wasn't trying to steal your thunder. I promise. I just didn't know if you knew that or not. And when I found that out, I was like, that is one of the most tearful scenes in this entire show. When Daemon steps up, puts the crown back on his head, and helps his brother to the throne. I was almost in tears. Yes. And to find out after that was an accident. And Matt Smith just stepped up, helped him put the crown, and they kept that in there. I was like, that's brilliant. That is so brilliant, and
that's just the icing on the cake.
Yes, that is a huge congratulations to the showrunners, to the producers, to the directors of the show, that they recognized something so beautiful that they hadn't planned and said, no, we're keeping it.
And wouldn't you guys agree, most everybody, guys and ladies on the panel, agree that added more to the scene? And it showed that Damien would do almost anything for his brother.
Character. Yes, it gave him so much more character doing that.
Also because Viserys pushed away all his guards who wanted to help him on the way to the throne. But he does not push away Daemon. He lets him help him.
It was a very touching moment. And that's why, that's one of the best scenes. And I think that helped make it. That one and what he does next. I don't understand.
He expresses his confusion. Why is something discussed that has been settled?
Yet we'll get there.
Because it's been settled that the series is going to be the next one on the Driftmark throne. So why are you even discussing this? The only person in the position of questioning that is Rhaenys. And she steps up and she takes Rhaenyra's side. And that is when Vaemond snaps. And he questions the king and his decision because the king is like, okay, yeah, so that's done. We're done here. And Vaemond snaps and questions the king's decision, calls Rhaenyra's sons bastards, and calls her a whore. And the king draws the dagger. The king draws the dagger, and that is when Daemon just steps up because the king is like, I'll have your tongue for that. And Daemon just slices his head in two, and as he falls down, he says he can keep his tongue. And he sliced his head in a way that the tongue was untouched by the blade.
And then the guard jump up and tell Daemon to disarm, but he doesn't disarm. What he does is he wipes his sword and puts it away.
My favorite scene in this.
He has this touching moment. And to be honest with you, there's something touching about him killing that guy for what he said. But it's so
he's defending his wife. He's defending his wife. That guy
defending his wife, defending the crown, and because he's attacking the crown. He's attacking the crown by doing that.
Daemon is just not having the crap. And what I also like is he does it from behind. He doesn't even look at him. He's just like, yeah, you're done.
And I think part of that was Daemon finally proving to his brother, I was the right choice this whole time. You didn't approve of me marrying your daughter, but I'm the one who would have stepped in. I'm the one who would have prevented all this shit from happening. I would have one that would have her back for the rest of her life. I was the right choice.
He definitely was defending her.
Yes. And her sons.
Yeah.
Because he knows, but
even though they're not his kids, he's defending his children.
Because nobody is to question them.
I don't think he cares because he's the one that told her to go have fun in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. That was just great. And we also see a close-up in the next scene where the Silent Sisters prepare his body to be taken back to Driftmark. And we see a close-up and we see the tongue in there. And
they don't really want to show these women. And I'm not sure why. Are they grotesque or something?
No, it's just a cult thing of that religion of the Seven.
They're like nuns with burqas.
Yeah. It's just a weird cult.
Burqa. Jihad. Anyway, so
family dinner.
I thought it was an interesting scene, but it really doesn't have any. It's sort of like a tepid scene after a really hot scene. I mean,
why that scene is in there, I think, is to show that Rhaenys doesn't mind that he's dead. Because she's watching. When she's told to go away and let the Silent Sisters do her job, she's like, he's dead. He doesn't care if I see this or not. So she's cold. Because he tried to knock her off the throne. She's lost
everybody that mattered to her.
He tried to knock her off the throne that she was holding.
Oh, yeah, that was the opening scene.
Was away. Yeah, the
and remember, I was confused by that scene because I couldn't remember who the hell she was. It's like you and I were watching it together, and both of us were a little confounded. Like, what's going on here? Why are we opening on them?
I caught it pretty quick. You were all confused.
I was really confused.
I had to break down the whole scene.
Gary, they say the first sign of Alzheimer's not remembering things.
Who are you?
I'm sorry. What'd you say? What'd you say?
What?
What?
What's going on? Why am I in this world?
Where am I? Where am I? Where are you people? Who are you people? Where am I?
Come on, man.
But, and that's the final scene, isn't it? With the body being cleaned.
No, it's not the final scene.
Oh,
we have the family dinner.
Yeah.
Dinner, yes.
And it really looked like it was going to go someplace good. And then the kids had to open their mouths.
They are celebrating. They're celebrating the cousin's betrothal, and everything looks really good. And then, of course, Egan starts shit talking to one of his cousins. Do you even know what to do with a girl and stuff like that? And then they start making toasts and insulting each other by making toasts.
And Rhaenyra has that
It's
really
Rhaenyra
cool
looking.
moment. Rhaenyra has that really cool moment with Alicent.
Yeah,
when
because those two make up.
They make up and they have that moment of it. Because I think she's seen all the shit her son's done and is like, you know what?
Yeah.
Rhaenyra really hasn't done anything compared to what my own flesh and blood son has done. And they have that moment of, you know what? You're not so bad. You know what? You're not so bad. You've taken care of my dad. You're not a big of a whore as I always thought you were. And that's that calm come together before the shit's gonna hit the fan.
that is after like when Egan starts shit talking and things go sideways. Viserys stands up and he takes off his mask and he's begging his family to finally settle all the quarrels and tells them it hurts him to see them so far apart because they drifted apart. And he tells them, look at me, if not for your king, do this for this old man. And I don't have much time left. Just please, for my sake, be at peace with each other.
Yeah, and it's a moving moment. And and I thought, well, that should have some kind of impact. And go ahead, continue.
And it does because Alicent and Rhaenyra toast each other and
don't shit on each other.
No, and you can tell they are back. They still love each other after all that's happened. They're making peace.
Because you can't hate somebody that much unless you have feelings towards them.
Yes.
And that's a fact. So that was really good. But then the kids have to start in.
Well, that's their damage. That's the damage that their relationship, the bad side of their relationship has had. It's the damage that it's done to the kids.
Yes.
Yes.
But
absolutely.
I love the moment when Alicent toasts Rhaenyra after she apologized in her toast, and she tells her, "You will make a fine queen," and that gave me goosebumps because she's finally telling her, "Okay, yeah, I recognize you."
I think she was just being sarcastic.
No.
No.
I thought so too, but then it's like when
the
she
following
ended
scene that they have,
it's completely different. It
comes from her heart.
You got to be able to read them, and I read completely that. Oh my God, she meant that.
Well,
and
they want to be friends deep down. They want to be
because
friends.
they were best friends.
They were best friends. It's just the fact that circumstances have driven them apart, and and unfortunately
made them adversarial. On top of that,
yeah. I mean, again, it's. The thing about it is that as I began originally, Alicent is the way that she is because of her dad and her uncle, and realistically,
she's just a pawn in that game.
In a way, I mean, she's obviously had her own moves to play because she's very aware of Larry's or whatever his name is, the strong brother, crazy strong. She should have technically turned him in. She could have had him executed for the part that he played in the deaths of his father and brother. She didn't. There is a darkness in her. But that darkness is coming really from the worst place, which is good intentions. That's really the worst people come out of those that are trying to do things for what seems to be the right reasons. And that's the unfortunate thing about Allison, is that she's been trapped by good intentions and circumstances. She really doesn't understand, never understood what this game was, never understood the depths of what you'd have to do to win. And because of that, it's going to have grave consequences for her and her family. Rhaenyra's, in a sense, knows some of it, but she also started out as someone not really even wanting any of this.
She just wanted to be a dragon rider.
Yeah, she just wanted to be a dragon rider. She wasn't even all with.
Now she's pregnant with her 6th kid, and she never wanted kids.
Yeah, she never wanted kids. That tells you how far each of them have gone. And
she accepted, though. She accepted her position, but you can see how hard it is when she goes to her father and says, I'm not sure I can take this burden. It's too heavy.
Well, yeah, there's a lot. Look, having someone like Daemon, again, I don't think Daemon's the best teacher. I mean, he'll tell you what he thinks you need to know at the time you need to know it.
Heidi is here, my best friend in Vienna.
But he's not good at trying to tell you stuff way before it becomes an absolute need to know it.
Yeah.
Again, those two really are at the heart of what is actually happening. And there's going to be a lot of death and destruction before these two really realize the extent of the damage that they've done in not really being honest with themselves. I mean, technically, Allison should have just told her father to go jump in the lake.
Oh, yeah. But she's a good daughter.
And yeah, but
that's her duty.
That's what got used against her.
Yes.
Her innocence really was the price that had to be paid for her family's ambition. And so,
I mean, Otto basically pimped her out to Varys.
Yeah, and this is a game that's been generations in the making. The Seps have wanted to take over the kingdom for generations, and this is a long game. And those are the most dangerous games, is when someone plays a long game to get close to someone and take them down. And that's exactly what is happening to the Targaryens.
And the thing with Allison is that she even herself realizes that the only other person who is at least good is Viserys, and she's lost his trust. He doesn't trust her. The moment he figured out, before he fired her dad, exactly what was going on and the circumstances that led to her winding up eventually comforting him and becoming his wife, that changed. So, and she knows that. She knows it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing but, everything's over but the screaming and the blood.
Sounds like a weekend at your house.
That's next week's episode.
Next week, live from Keith's, the bloody wedding.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry.
I can't wait for the next episode. But
a lot of people can't. Again, you don't have to spend $1 billion to create something that's good.
Again, Keith, shut it.
I'm just saying.
You keep trying to drag us into that.
I'm not dragging anybody. I'm just saying.
Hey, I got a question for you, Keith.
Yeah.
We've got TGIF on Friday. Are we going to be doing that like this, or are we going to be doing it from GameCon?
Well, by this
Expo, sorry.
Yeah, well, the expo will be going on by this time tomorrow.
Okay, so we should probably we need to hook up early so we can make sure that we've got internet and can do the show from there.
Well, I'm going to try to go past tonight and do some setup, but it depends. Well, look, that's for after we get off the show. But we'll talk after the show. But we're definitely gonna do that.
All right. So tomorrow, Keith will be doing his morning show, Morning Coffee with Keith. which what I understand is a little more urban than when I do it.
It's also the one show where Keith doesn't fall asleep.
Oh God! Oh my God! Anima just shit on you, Keith.
I know. That's fine, because we all know I don't need $1 billion to make the show work.
Yeah, but when you just ask for your employee discount. Employee discount.
Do the double burn, embezzle the money, and then go back and to the company and ask for an employee discount when you buy shit from them. There you go. That's the producers of that show. I'm not going to say you can say the name. I will not say the name. But it's actually a Game Expo, and Game is actually it's an acronym. And all the years I've been there, I don't know what the acronym is. What is the acronym, Keith? You don't know.
Games Arts Media Expo. Games Art Media Expo.
And
Scott is going to be running
and
sound,
Media Expo.
And he's going to be the media guy tomorrow at Con. So 3 of us are going, but Das Wolfen's not.
Das Wolfen is getting a procedure done tomorrow.
Yes, he's getting that condition. We've been talking to him for a long time. He's finally getting that addictomy done.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were spending the $6 million to just go.
Can we please go on with the show? We're almost at the end.
We're almost to the end, guys. Hold on.
Hold
on.
Is
We're
that
almost
going to
to
be
the
an in
end.
and out procedure, or do you have to stay overnight?
Oh my!
No, it's going to be
exit
don't
only.
fall for it. Don't fall for it.
Yeah, it's exit only. Sorry.
No. I mean, are you doing the lap band? What are you doing?
No. Tomorrow I have an upper GI, which means they're going to scope and run all the way down and make sure that there's
just
no
to
damage.
make sure everything's working. Okay.
Yeah, but it's the first time I've ever been under general anesthesia, so
you'll be all right, brother. You'll be all right. And if
your throat will be sore afterward, just make sure the doctor's pants are zipped up.
Oh God.
And on that note, back to the show. Anima, go ahead.
Anima's gone. She said, I'm done.
Anima's like, later.
Do you have to use the whole fist stock?
How can I be with this guy?
Even at 2, Keith, at 2.
Gary, behave.
We only do it because we love you so much, John.
Gary, behave. Remember, Hyde
Can
is
I-
here evaluating you.
Can I throw in a little Easter egg? Get us back on
Yeah.
track. Reese
Yeah.
Ifans, the guy who plays Otto. There's that scene in the throne room where you see him come off the throne when Viserys enters and that look on his face. It is the exact same movement and the exact same face he makes in Little Nicky when he is the son of the devil and he comes off the throne he's on. The way he has his hands, his arms, every movement is exactly the same that he made in that movie. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit, he did the exact same thing he did on Little Nicky.
I forgot he was in Little Nicky.
Yeah, he plays the skinny British brother of Nicky's that is the son of Satan.
There you go, Anima.
Yep.
Where are we? After the moment between Alicent and Rhaenyra, Aegon goes to get more wine and he hits on Vaela. Like, if you ever want real pleasure. And that's when Jace gets up and toasts Aegon and Aemond and totally shuts Aegon down. And next thing, Helena, Aegon's wife, gets up, toasts her cousins, her female cousins, congratulates them on being betrothed, and tells them, marriage isn't so bad. He mostly ignores you, except sometimes when he's drunk. And that is what totally shames Aegon. And then she goes to dance with Jace.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's
everything seems happy, and they're having fun, and Viserys shuts down and needs to be taken out.
Well,
Gary's gone.
Uh-oh.
What did you want to say, Keith?
No, I was just going to say, I also think that Helena is, she also is someone who you could quantify as being a good person.
Helena.
She is, her problem is the fact that she's got powers.
Yes, she's a seer, a dreamer.
She is a dreamer. And I think that she's starting to. I think she's fully accepted who she is. It's just that her husband, really her entire family, is ignoring her because she's giving.
Yes.
She's up there just like, hey, guess what? You know.
I think also the scene where she's dancing with Chase is also foreshadowing to the Dance of the Dragons because they both are dragon riders.
Yeah. It's just
that's just this between.
I want to ask something. I want to ask something of all of us. How messed up are we? There, I didn't use the F word. How messed up are we that we were happy that Rhaenyra and Daemon got together? Seriously. We were all happy they got together. Oh, they got together. Yeah.
It was foreshadowed. We were very happy, and the result ends up being dangerously good.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's creepy that we were like, oh.
Well, look.
I mean, they are uncle and niece after all.
The question is, on Game of Thrones, when everybody made the maths and got to the point that, oh my God, Jon and Daenerys are aunt and uncle and nephew. Did you feel the same? Or did you feel that?
I did not, because that's what royalty
hypocrisy
does. In real life. It's what royalty does.
We're all hypocrites one time or another.
The only thing that grossed me out a little bit is Aegon and Helena. That's messed up, brother.
Is there a thing though? Because the Targaryens talk about it. It's why they were allowed through the 7 Septs to marry inside the family. They are different. That's just the way it is. The Targaryens are different than normal people.
Real history does that too, Loki.
Yeah, and of course, kingdoms back in the day, but they're part dragon. So to them, keeping the bloodline pure, that's been something that's been instilled not just in Rhaenyra and Viserys. That's something that goes all the way back to the beginning.
See you, Kingsport Cal. Take it easy, buddy.
Bye, King.
So we're wrapping up anyway.
Do they get a pass?
No, because look, in real life, I mean, that's how we got the Habsburg thing.
Yes.
The
We've
nose and lip.
And you get the Mad King. You get the Mad Targaryen, the sickness, the dragon sickness that the Targaryens have. So,
and that's also why we believe that one of the kids is Daemon's with Alicent.
Well, he does look.
He favors him.
He's also the next one to act, because he gets up and he toasts his nephews for being handsome, wise, and strong. And that word, of course, triggers. And he uses it twice more, and then the kids just start
Why
fighting.
would you be insulted at me saying that you're strong?
Yeah, because everybody knows who their father is, or most people.
All I know is in the books, the one character that none of us like, Larry Strong, is his death is a good one, and I hope if we get more seasons, we get to finally see that guy get what he deserves.
We don't see him at all in this episode. We don't see Larry's.
Good.
Yeah, he wasn't in this one.
The rat is absent. Who knows what he's up to?
Oh, he's up to no good at all.
No.
He's always up to no good.
Because he eventually gets his head cut off, and I think his last wish is for the execution.
Don't spoil that.
It's in the books.
That
doesn't mean it's going to be in the show.
What's wrong with you?
Well, at least he loses the club foot. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, so the kids fight, and you see Aemon just smack Chase down like he's a fly. And that is when Daemon looks at him and gives him that, yeah, all right, kid, that's enough. And they have this stare down that I really enjoyed. And also showed us how they really look like father and son. That's weird casting, I think.
Do you think all the kids were kind of intimidated by Damien?
By Daemon? No.
By Daemon?
By Daemon, excuse me.
He wasn't around very much.
Half of them are stepkids.
Yeah, so. when you think about the timeline, the actual amount of time, Daemon hasn't really been around. I mean, Daemon hasn't really been around Alicent's kids too much. So they only know him as this kind of a shadowy figure that pops up every couple of years.
Yeah, because they're on Dragonstone. They don't visit King's Landing that much.
And then the stories. That's it. Whatever stories that they probably have heard from either house staff or from whoever else, and especially members of the Gold Cloaks, who still pretty much worship the ground Daemon walks on.
Someone wants to win the show.
So I think that...
Also, I think Aemond isn't impressed by anyone. He's a badass. No. He's not scared of anyone.
I think he is so far... Yeah. Whew, that kid's got problems.
Yeah.
Aemon's had training, but he hasn't had real life combat. That's the difference between Daemon. But you can be hungry, but the reality of that is something totally different. The reality of combat and being hungry for combat are two totally different things.
Yep, that's
true. Well, he's like in his early 20s or so. But when they train, Kristen tells him, "You'll win tourneys in no time," and he tells him, "I don't give f about winning tourneys. I want the real thing. I want to go to war."
Penny, let's see. Penny asked, "Are the books sexually graphic like the shows?"
Floppy wieners, floppy wieners, floppy wieners.
You had to bring... I cannot listen to the title song anymore without having that one in my head. It's terrible. It's ruined.
Ruined, Brian. Ruined.
So for those...
play that clip for me.
And this is a cleaned up version of the show. This is great.
For those that have actually read, I mean, anybody want to answer Penny's question?
I didn't read the books. I just pick up stuff.
Gerry?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Loki, would you like to answer Penny's question?
Obviously, it's not as like directly graphic as the show because you see a lot. I mean, the amount of flaccid penis you saw in Game of Thrones was like legendary. But no, it's not like they're describing genitalia in the books now.
Cool.
So before we wrap up the show,
not at the end.
I want to give a nod to Rhys Ifans because he is really a good actor. Some of my favorite roles, I'm just going to mention him, is from Spider-Man because he played what's his name, his professor.
Oh yeah, he was the lizard.
Yeah, the doctor's name now. I forgot the damn name now.
Kurt Connors.
Kurt Connors. He got to play him 3 times, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
He was in The Replacements, I really enjoyed that film and his performance in that. Then I saw him in Elementary, the TV series, which was the American version of Sherlock Holmes. Anonymous.
Yeah.
Anonymous was that weird film put out by that German director who made Independence Day. And it's that classic belief that Shakespeare didn't write the plays, that it was actually a member of parliament or royalty who had written all that stuff. Who'd we lose? John left.
Scott. No,
John
is here.
left.
Scott.
No, John is here. Scott left. He'll be back. Keep an eye. But anyway, he was in Enduring Love. He was in that romantic comedy. Let me find it real quick. I freaking loved it. Notting Hill. He was the pothead friend. I didn't do anything. I'm not touching it. There you go.
No one wants to know what you're touching or not touching, Gerry.
And right down on you.
And let's see. I think that was. He was in Elizabeth, the Golden.
Froze at the right
Golden
moment.
Age, yeah.
Yeah, the Golden Age.
The sequel to Elizabeth.
Yeah, really good films. I don't remember much in anything else, but those were really good.
I think Patty Constantine should also be recognized because he's an incredible actor himself, and I think seriously, Father of the Year compared to a lot of other dads in the whole of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. He's definitely Dad of the Year because he tried. He really did try. He did try.
Now I got to tell you, Patty appears in some of my favorite comedies. He was in Hot Fuzz, and he was also in World's End. And he was in this other film I really liked. Hold on, or TV series, The Suspicions of Mr. Whicher. If you've never, and it's Whicher. There's an H in there. That is a good series. That is a good series. If you've never seen it, he plays the part of I think he's Northern Irish inspector that goes over to England and has to do investigations for Scotland Yard. Really good show.
Gary, how long did it take you to get past the fact that he is that smarmy ass detective in Hot Fuzz when you realized, holy shit, this is
Patty Considine. I know.
Holy shit.
He's such an asshole in that movie. But it's great.
Yes.
But I don't know. Was he in Shaun of the Dead? Did he make an appearance in that one? No,
he wasn't.
So he's
I don't
in
think
two
he was
of
in
the Chip films.
Yep.
2 of the 3 films. So that's really cool. Because I know he's in The World's End. He's in the pub scene, one of the pub scenes.
Yep. And he's in Hot Fuzz.
And he's in Hot Fuzz as that scummy, smarmy with the mustache.
With the mustache, with the drinking mustache, the beer mustache, the phone.
Yeah, it goes all the way down. Motorcycle bar.
It's called a mustache. I know.
And I saw somewhere he's also in Bourne Ultimatum, but I don't remember him in that. So I'm going to have to go back and check that out and see who he is in that. But we've all reached the end of the road of this episode. We've gone an hour and a half.
Yeah, almost.
Well, we've got 4 minutes. In the wrap up, we'll hit.
There's one more scene, Gary, and a very important one.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Are we not done yet?
No.
All right, one more.
First, we get another scene between Alicent and Rhaenyra where Alicent doesn't want her to go, but she's like, just let me see the kids back home to Dragonstone and I'll return on Dragonback. Because Alicent is basically begging her, do not leave me alone with your dying father. Please be here for this. And Rhaenyra is in. But then we cut to Viserys, who is being given medicine by Alicent, and he's out of it. He mistakes her for Rhaenyra and starts talking about the prophecy. And how it's true, and that it's her to be the prince. And the prophecy is, of course, made by Aegon the Conqueror. But he just says Aegon. And Alicent just picks up random words like Aegon and throne and next one, and it's you. So she thinks this is about him telling her on his deathbed, because he's dying, that he wants Aegon, his son, on the throne. And she walks out believing that she has to make this come true.
Destined.
And there's a lot of foreshadowing for what's going to happen next, because this is messed up.
It is.
Now she's really a tragic figure because it's not her fault that she misunderstood it that way. She thinks he's telling her his last wish. She doesn't know. He thinks that she's Rhaenyra, and he's mistaking people for others. He called her Emma. 6 years ago, it started that his mind went loopy. So.
He even says Aegon's destined to unite the unite Westeros. He says that destined and unite the kingdoms. That's what he says.
He means Aegon the Conqueror.
Oh, I know that. I'm just saying that's what he tells Alicent, and that's what Alicent is hearing. Aegon will unite. Our son, and he doesn't say our son. He just says Aegon is destined to unite the kingdoms. So that's what she's taken away from that. That's why that scene at dinner is so beautiful, is because her and Rhaenyra finally make peace, and now they're gonna butt heads because it's like, no, my boy's gonna rule the kingdoms.
Now she walks away from him with that burden on her shoulders, and he's dying. And the last thing he says, no more. And the last words he says is "my love," and I think he sees Emma. That's what I want to think.
I believe that too.
Emma.
I think he saw Emma, and again, that's probably the closest that you will come to a good death in the whole of any of these shows.
Yeah, he had a peaceful death.
He's drugged up and in bed.
Hey, that's
but
better
he's in
than
pain.
what
He's
some people
moaning
get.
all the time. He's in so much pain still.
Yeah, but that's better than what some characters get. You know, I mean,
some people get roasted alive by dragons,
and some get their head.
Some people get to keep their tongues,
or most of their head chopped off.
Yeah. or
that scene hits hard, because I think almost everyone has been in the position where they've seen a loved one waste away. So that really made me tear up.
Yeah. It again, I think for me, this particular episode pretty much seals the deal that Patty needs to not only be nominated but probably win.
Oh yes, he needs an Emmy.
He just, that whole thing with him showing up and that walk.
Oh yes, the walk to the throne.
That was just a freaking amazing. So,
Gerry, do you have any final thoughts?
I'm content with what Mr. Moncrief said.
That and the scene between him and Damon at the throne.
Oh God, yes.
I want to thank everybody. I need to go to the private chat and get all the names of everybody that showed up today. It was D. Bud Martin was first in the house. Monkey Jeebus, thank you. Come again. Alatar. Socks Bulletins was here. Zax, aka Kyle, was here. Penny has been here. Gap After Dark. Bill Barkley from Scotland. Don Ecker from my personal hell. No, Don Ecker from California. Luciano Pereira was here. Magic.
Frozen mid thank yous. That's great.
Let's see.
Come back.
That was Magitech. That was Magitech, right?
Yeah, Max did it. Max froze.
Martin, who else was in there?
Kingsport Cal, Lindsay, the Syndical Geek, and Heidi Marks.
Thank you, John.
Loki doesn't count because he's on the panel.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on again. This is absolutely
coming. Loki,
and
come on.
Anima, if I in any way stole your thunder on the throne room scene, I'm sorry. I love that idea so much that was improv. Okay.
I only found out before the show when I was watching behind the scenes clips on YouTube. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is so cool.
Yeah, that was an accident. That is so great
and it made the scene even better.
Yes. Yeah, it made you see that Damon, Matt Smith walking up and doing that and walking back and not a word, just helped him up with the crown and that was beautiful.
He was meant to help him up and help him to the throne, but the crown thing, that wasn't meant to happen.
Well,
Patty wasn't meant to lose the crown. That was an accident that they made the best of it.
It's his brother. Come on. I mean, it's.
Yeah, but he's been pushing him away.
I know. It's because seeing him
they
like
have not been on friendly terms, and now he lets him. He's okay. The only person he's okay with helping him is his brother Damon, and I think that's wonderful.
I'd like to end this while I have internet. I don't have internet. I'm getting very frustrated right now.
So.
I need to end this. Magitech Mags, thanks a lot. Loki's Morning of Mischief, thanks for being in the chat and on the show. For some reason, you mentioned in the chat. Kingsport Cal, Lindsay the Cynical Geek, Heidi Marks, who is a close friend of Anima. It's her best friend.
My best friend.
And sorry, hospital stuff.
What?
That's some message from John. I don't know. I just like
stop reading not names, Gerry.
So I got kicked. I'll read more. Hold on. There's more stuff. Luciano Pereira. Anyway, then there's hey, I got to go poop from Keith, and
now he's just making up shit.
Am I?
Yes, you are. I can see the private chat, Gerry.
See, I think it's interesting, Scott, that you and I are both having. Are you on the network somehow?
No, I'm on. No. I'm at a work location on my cell phone using data.
Well, I'm wondering why it is, because like I got kicked, and then right after I get kicked, I come back, you get kicked. That's twice.
That's twice, so, and I think it's they were doing some construction in the neighborhood. I'm hoping that's not it, but we'll find out and fix that.
We'll find out. But I was just wondering if there was a connection. But anyway,
no
I want to thank everybody for being here today. I want to thank Loki for being on the show. Great contributions, man. And
thank you.
You know, I'm not going to do like some shows where they go, tell us about your channel. Like we get watched by that many fucking people that, sorry, I cussed again.
You did.
The last one. That's the last one for the show.
Hashtag blame Loki for that one.
Blame Loki.
Okay.
Blame Loki.
And
Loki.
I'm not going to be that arrogant to think that enough people watch our show that you get probably more viewers than we do, Loki. So I'm not going to even be presumptuous.
I don't know about
but
that.
I thank you for being here, man, because you are one of my favorite people.
I love talking Game of Thrones. I love hanging out with you and Keith. Ever since I got to meet Keith in Springfield, I'd worked with him once or twice before that on YouTube, and I heard the voice, and I was like, "Holy shit, I know that guy!" I'm like, I walked up to him, I'm like, "You're on YouTube," and he goes, "Yeah, I'm Keith." I'm like, "Holy shit, it's Loki!" And he goes, "Stone Loki, what's up, dude?" I'm like, "What's up, man?"
Met?
Oh yeah, we were at a comic book store in Springfield.
No,
and it was a couple years ago, and
That's so cool.
I heard his voice, and I was like, I know that,
Yeah,
I know that voice.
He does.
And I just walked up to him. I'm like, "You're on YouTube, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, dude," and he's like, "Keith," and I'm like, "Loki," and he, "Holy shit, Loki!" And yeah, dude, it was crazy.
That's
I love you
cool.
guys. I love watching your show.
We
I'm
love you
honored
too,
to be a
Loki.
part of it, man. Thank you. Thank you very much.
John, of course, you're a good friend of Keith's and mine. I thank you for being here, buddy. And good
Thanks for
luck with
having me on.
tomorrow.
Thanks.
Hopefully, you won't be too sore afterward. Seriously, when they put that camera down there, man.
You'll have that look stuck on your face.
Yeah, that look.
Yeah. Just try to have positive thoughts.
Yeah,
I will.
You'll be fine.
That's no big
I
deal.
clipped that face.
Yeah, clip it, Marty.
Oh, I got it.
Quickly, screensaver for everybody. Just screensaver for everybody. Get it quick. Hurry.
Yeah, but
there he is.
If I don't look happy, you know. And again, he got kicked. I'm telling you, there's something going on.
Holy crap!
That's three
Just
times.
Wrap up the show while you have a minute.
Anima, thanks for being.
Oh, damn it.
For some weird reason.
There can be only one
Seriously.
of you.
Stop
You
it.
need to repeat that.
Stop
You need
it.
to
Get
repeat
him
that.
on. Somebody fucking add him.
I will.
Oh my
I
God.
will do it. Oh, fuck.
Okay, that's three times, Scott. There's a connection. Something's going on.
Yeah, we're gonna research that and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, we got to figure it out because I get kicked, you get kicked. But anyway, thanks for being here, Scott. I deeply appreciate great conversations today. Good show. Martin, always thank you for being the right side of my brain. Chinatsky, fuck you. That's fourth or fifth or whatever.
That's five. That's five.
Actually, it's 6.
Magic 5.
No, one doesn't count.
One doesn't count because it was in reference.
Because it was a reference.
Yes, so it's
It's still awful. I can't believe it.
Five. That's
anyway. I love you
hey,
guys.
That's better than it was. Better than it was.
I'll see you guys. No, I don't think it's StreamYard. It's something going on here in Springfield. It's impacting him and me. So anyway, love you guys. Keith will be here tomorrow morning. I might jump in with him because we're going to be doing the show tomorrow.
Morning coffee with Keith.
Yes. And hold on. I need to do the. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm fucking irritated. I'm sorry. I'm really irritated right now. I don't care. I'm so irritated.
That one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. We're going to get
guys. Thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon for updates on our shows and channel. Also, please leave a comment, and we'd like to know what you thought of the episode, as well as letting us know if there's something you'd like us to cover in a future episode. Don't forget that you can become a member of Pop Culture Minefield now. Make sure to visit our membership page and merch store at popcultureminefield.com. You can always find Pop Culture Minefield on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.
Get off our lawns before Gerry cusses again.
Good cuss. Do that before do it. This is a chopper.
Pop
Yeah, man, this shit's cool.
Abri, let's all, folks.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
Yeah.